Well, let's switch gears a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, there was a whole situation between Hamas and Israel. You know, with the whole attack, where a lot of people, hundreds of people in Israel got slaughtered. Then there was an attack on Gaza. The Palestinian people are in a really bad situation because of it. So I made a tweet about it. I said, has anyone noticed the most famous Jewish person on earth, Drake, and the most famous Palestinian person on earth, DJ Khaled, haven't said a single thing about the Gaza-Israeli conflict? It's not like Drake is too busy. He's been writing paragraphs about Joe Budden hurting his feelings about his new album. DJ Khaled has been working overtime promoting his new Jordan sneakers. Both of them have been silent on this topic, though. Why is that? It's because both are so thirsty to maintain their relevance that they wouldn't dare risk insulting a segment of their fan base. Heaven forbid that Drake might debut at number 2 behind Taylor Swift because some of his Palestinian fans chose not to stream his album. It would be the end of the world if Khaled sold a few less sneakers because some Jewish people decided not to buy his Jordans. That's the difference between artists of today and timeless legends like Tupac. You know damn well Pac would be the first one to speak out about something that hit so close to home. This one's super viral. 3 million impressions.
Yeah.
Everything is culminating and so forth, and it culminated in the Breakfast Club appearance, where we talked about it and we argued it out. Personally, what do you think about this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what's going on. Like, so, number one, I feel like I know a few like just overall things that's supposedly happening. I really don't know about all the intricacies and really the full history of what's going on. Here's the thing too. And this is why, I've been trying to get more educated. I'm watching a few documentaries and some other things, but also in situations like that I don't know that intimately. I always have to really invest my time in terms of media and how I'm going to get this information. Like, for example, if you're only watching if you're only consuming U.S. media, right? After, I don't know, whether 9/11 or any other type of war that we've been in, we're always good guys, right? And this is just how a lot of things is. Like, hey, these are the monsters. They're killing everybody, blah, blah. But also, these things kind of happen on both sides of the fence. So for me to understand, that's what I'm saying, I don't fully understand yet. I need to understand, I got to go into their media and see what they're saying, because I think U.S. is aligned with certain people.
The U.S. is aligned with Israel. But listen, there's two sides to this. And I've been very clear about this because I don't want this to turn into like a Jewish versus Muslim thing. Yeah. Because both parties are wrong to a certain degree. I'm not a fan of the Israeli government, of Netanyahu. Yeah. And what they did to the Palestinians in terms of Gaza, they essentially blockaded. Once Hamas became the ruling party of Gaza, and Hamas is considered a terrorist organization. So essentially, Israel blockaded that whole area, and there's 2 million people living there. So it essentially became an open-air prison. So you have all this kind of anger building up over the course of 15 years. So I understand how the Palestinian people are getting fucked up as well. But my thing is that Khaled is Palestinian. He's not saying anything. Stand up for your people. Kehlani recently did a whole video where she was like, what the fuck is wrong with all these entertainers? Like, talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about your point of view about it. You don't have to sit there and throw people under the bus and make up a whole bunch of bullshit, but I'm saying, talk about it. Drake is Jewish. He was born to a Jewish mother, which according to Jewish law makes him Jewish. At 5 years old, his parents divorced, and he lived in Forest Hill, which is a Jewish neighborhood in Toronto, with his Jewish mother and all of her Jewish relatives. He had a bar mitzvah.
Some bar mitzvah.
He had a bar mitzvah.
He had
a bar mitzvah, which I had as well, which at 13 is the ceremony you do where you become a man. Well before he was a rapper, well before he was an actor on Degrassi, he was a Jewish kid. And you don't say nothing. You're dissing Kanye, but you don't say anything when he goes on these Hitler rants. Because I think that Drake doesn't want to, somehow piss off a portion of his fan base that may not be too fond of Jewish people or whatever else. So he just doesn't say anything. And I'm like, that's weak. That is weak to me.
I mean, I'm not surprised he didn't say anything because when Kanye West, said things that people deemed as anti-Semitic, he didn't say, "Hey, listen, as someone who's a representative, this is how I feel, and also I don't like you neither." So I'm definitely going to speak up now. Like that's personal. That's really personal at that point. Drake or Kanye already don't like you. Then Kanye basically starts talking about the Jews, and you still don't address that angle. So he never addressed the anti-Semitism angle.
Never.
And because of his, silence there, I understand why he's not speaking up. Now, do I agree with it? I mean, again, I think holding these artists to the level of where they're more than just like, it's a circus. Like, they're just here to make us laugh for the moment we consume their content. Most of them don't stand for anything.
Look, Andrew Tate insulted Canadian men. Did you see that whole thing?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, men in Canada? That's not a thing. There's no real men in Canada," and so forth. And Drake responded, "Green light on Andrew Tate." So he's going to respond when Canadians are insulted because he feels like he's repping Canadians these days. But his whole Jewish heritage, he don't say nothing about it. Like, you're Jamaican.
Yeah.
If something really messed up,
I'm getting active with Jamaica now.
I'm saying, like, if something really messed up happened in Jamaica,
No, of course.
wouldn't you say something?
Of
Don't you
course.
feel that that's your job with the voice that you have?
No,
and your voice is not as big as Drake's.
Well, I mean,
Your voice is not as big as Khaled's.
that might be just a personal thing. Like, for example, salute to Angie from the Shade Room. Angie has used her platform. She's Nigerian. She's used anytime there's, any type of crisis or whatever with Nigeria, you see the Shade Room
Good.
start posting a lot about that.
As
and by
she
the way,
should.
Why
As
is that?
she should.
Because that is her heritage and that is where she's from. With me, I'm always tapped into what's going on in my country. Most of my family lives in Jamaica.
Exactly.
If there's a crisis where people are dying, that shit is going to affect me. I can't just act like nothing matters. But maybe that's just my sensibilities. I would have to say something. You get what I mean? I mean, shoot, like, people look at my page. Shit, I'm the guy, like, read one of my captions when Jamaica wins something in the Olympics. I'm hyping it up. It's
Right.
lit. So again, there is, and if I would celebrate that, if there was something that needed to be addressed on a serious level, I'm also going to extend my voice to that.